The formative years shape the adult mind, none more so than when it comes to body image. This morning, we discuss plastic surgery apps for kids with our creative parenting expert, Nikki, and why parents should be aware of the fact that they are not the only ones shaping their child's body image. Can you hear the seriousness of my tone? I haven't ever thought about this from this angle before, and it really does kind of raise some major alarm bells. Why, and there are so many apps that change the way we look, that effectively give us plastic surgery within the app. Why are these so dangerous, and what kind of effects do they have on our children?
Graham, they look quite innocuous to begin with, because you've got Princess Plastic Surgery and Beauty Clinic, and they work with graphics, so it's not actually the child's real picture that's in there, but just wait, I'm sure at some point you'll be able to put yourself in the actual app. But right now, you can literally take a picture of a woman or a girl, a graphic, a cute graphic, and you can slice and splice and shave and cut and literally do the liposuction and the Botox, and even remove things like freckles. So, you know, the danger is, and we could say maybe we're overreacting, but these apps are actually aimed at very young girls from about age 8 or 9, when the body image is in a very formative stage. And if we start saying, well, you can take away your freckles, you know, you can take away things that are very normal and natural, what are we actually saying to children about their bodies? That there's a quick fix for anything you don't like. And actually, children's bodies are in a huge state of flux and change for about 18 to 20 years. And it's important that children embrace who they are, what they look like, as an integrated whole.
Just how serious is that for that imprint to happen in the formative years? Will that stay with them for the rest of their life?
It does. So if we get it wrong in the early years, we could be creating a future adult who is never, ever okay with who they are, with what they look like.
And they're not even going to understand why, because it's so deep in their subconscious.
I know, and if you think today about how out there we are, celebrity status because of social media. We have photographs of ourselves plastered all over the show. You're actually constantly looking at yourself. And if you don't like what you see, can you imagine the messaging coming back to you on a consistent basis?
Oh, so now you mentioned that a person's body, especially a woman's body, is going to change dramatically 18, 20 years. Why is it so important to let your child's body settle? What do you actually mean by that, even?
Okay, so let's think about, you know, just from babyhood, how much a child's body changes. I mean, children actually live in a state of flux and change. So teeth fall out, big teeth grow. That changes everything. The jawline changes. The distance of the eyes from each other changes as your head changes size. Your hair changes over time. You get body hair where you never had body hair before. Your private parts change. Your hips get wider. You know, all sorts of things are changing, and it literally takes until the early 20s for the body to settle into itself. So before we start cutting and Botoxing and things, you've actually got to get to the end result before you can actually say, well, I really hate this, or I really don't like that.
This is what I'd like to change, yeah.
And it's very, very important that we save plastic surgery. A little bit like sex, it's for adults, you know.
Very much so,
it's the domain of adults, and it's for when you really can't live with something, or with children, it's where something is disfiguring or is making them a social pariah, you know, where they're being ostracized. That's when you would consider plastic surgery, and there are instances when you would do that.
Certainly so, and we're going to chat a little bit more about how we can promote a healthy body image through those formative years. So, very interesting discussion. Stick around.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your feel-good breakfast show, and we're still joined by our parenting expert, Nikki.
Yeah, talking about a very important topic indeed, how to shape your child's mind in terms of their body image, because these days we know that there are so many shows and different apps about body surgeries that could be a negative influence. But let's tap into her knowledge.
A little bit earlier with our creative parenting expert, Nikki, we are talking about a body image, creating a healthy body image, and how social media in general is affecting our body image in those formative years. And I think especially when it comes to young ladies, when you look at the kinds of apps that are out there that are literally allowing your child to do plastic surgery at 7, 8, 9 years old. We've spoken about letting your body settle. Why is this so important?
Graham, it is essential that we teach our children that they are a work in progress. that their bodies are constantly shifting, constantly changing, and they need time to settle because it takes about 20 plus years for you to actually settle into your final shape. Even for your face to settle, because we're always growing.
When we talk about unrealistic expectations, the media, social media, so many parts of our life are bombarding us with a completely surreal view of what a woman's face shape life should be like. And I don't want to just say that this is a feminine issue because guys are struggling with it just as much. What kind of effect can this bombardment, this constant bombardment have on a young mind?
Well, my goddaughter was telling me the other day that on social media she is constantly bombarded by ads for corsets, ads for diet pills, ads for diets. So there's this whole thing of this is how you should look like, this is what you should look like, this is the ideal body. This is a trap. Because there is no one size fits all. Everybody is slightly different, just like a fingerprint.
Completely,
you know, we are all different. And to sell this idea that there is one shape that we should all aspire to, my goodness, that's hard work. You know, that is serious hard work. And we need to help our children build up a realistic expectation so that they're not built up for disappointment, because that could lead to a lifetime of feeling let down.
What are some of the longer term effects? We know it can make life very difficult for a young person to have to deal with these pressures, but now when that gets embedded in your long-term view of yourself, what are the dangers there?
Well, you can have a skewed perception of your self-image for the rest of your life.
Sure.
And that is a long time to live with, I'm not happy with who I am and what I look like. And that's the last thing we want for our children. So we need to be very careful about the words we use with our children, when we talk to them, the way we praise them. You know, it's so easy, especially with girls, whenever you see a little girl, oh, you look so beautiful, you look so pretty. We put such emphasis on the external, the exterior. We have to start treating girls as an integrated whole. They are body, mind, soul, emotions, psyche, and there's so much to celebrate about a human being. It's not just about what's on the outside.
And I suppose just to round off very quickly, it's also how we see ourselves. If they are picking up on those messages, if you yourself are looking in the mirror and disliking what you're seeing, you're setting the wrong example.
And I think there is a lot of that. You know, we do have plastic surgery as an option for anybody out there. And if kids are constantly seeing their parents going off for a bit of this and a bit of that, well, that's going to become part of their culture too. So be careful how you convey your own sense of your body image, and how you talk to your children, how you celebrate who they are is very important.
Such an interesting discussion this morning. Make sure that you are aware of the apps that your child is using. Make sure that you celebrate your own individuality as well. That is the example that you want to set for your child. And of course, you can go to nikkibush.com for a wealth of incredibly interesting information around this topic.